Hello my little chicas, what's going on? So the goal for this video is to get the STI out on the main roads, go drive it around a little bit. I went to the papers way over there. I went to the DMV this morning. The STI is registered, it is street legal, it is good to be driven on public roads. There's some things we gotta do before we can go do that. I'm trying to all get knocked out today. We need to do a quick alignment on the car. I'd like to do a steering alignment, but with it up on the 4-post lift, it's not centered, so I can't really do that. So we'll worry about that in a little bit. I'm just gonna get the alignment eyeballed so that way the wheels are pointing straight with the steering wheel. On top of that, we're gonna wire in power steering. That's what we're gonna start with today. So I got in the Tefzel 10 gauge wire for the power steering. So we're gonna run that wire from the engine bay back to the trunk where the battery is, run it to our 80 amp circuit breaker, and then in theory, power steering should be working. We'll find out. Josh was saying his electric rack didn't work until the car thought it was on, but my car always thinks it's on, so I don't know on that one. We'll figure it out. Buddy of mine, a couple shops down, brought over some of this USC body putty, finishing putty glaze stuff. So to start things off, we're gonna go ahead and get this connector plugged in, get this wire routed through the firewall back to the battery, get it cut, get it sheathed, pull it back out after it's been cut, get it sheathed, put it back in, test to see if we have power steering. So here we have my EPS conversion harness. So this is just the power side. There's actually two harnesses that go with doing this conversion. There's a CAN adapter harness, which I made a while ago, and then the power steering, I guess, power cable. So this side plugs into the actual power side. We have an 80 amp OEM fuse that's gonna go on the battery. This is your chassis ground that's gonna go in the engine bay. Everything is nicely sheathed up. I ran out of my 1/4 inch, so I'd use 1/8, and it was just I mean, it worked fine. I'll probably just keep using 1/8. I've been debating making motorsports harnesses for people because I genuinely enjoy wiring now, which is really weird because this shit used to terrify me. So it's gonna be easy enough. This little guy's gonna go on the battery. This power connector is gonna go on the 80 amp fuse side. There's also a 140 amp on the other side. This is going to go to chassis ground in the engine bay. This is gonna plug into the rack. So now that we've got this made, I zip tied it up all nicely so I could take some pictures of it because it looked really nice. So now that we've got this guy all made up, let's run it in the car and then we can test power steering to see if it'll work in accessory mode. I was getting ready to align the car, but then I forgot I still have to adjust this coilover. But while I have this thing up in the air and I'm already on the subject of wiring, I want to swap all of this over to a 4-pin connector. It's like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just kind of annoying taking the bumper on and off every single time and having to like match up colors, play, you know, bingo and whatnot. So it'll be easier just put on a connector. So that is exactly what I'm going to do real quick. So now that I got height set on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump to a little bit of body work over here just to get this panel started at least and try out that glazing putty and some of that other stuff that we got. So I'm gonna grind off this Bondo that I have on here, feather these areas out, get some glazing putty made up, let it cure real quick, and then start shaping this panel here So that way this side is just pretty much good to go. So we're a couple hours in the future. With body work, I've decided I'm going to leave it to the professionals. Some things I feel like you should just leave to the professionals. I gave it an attempt. It's not bad. It feels smooth back there, but it's not where I want it. This is something that if I don't get it 100% perfect, it's going to show up through the paint. So I'm just gonna let the body shop take it over from here. I either helped them or gave them more work. I feel like I helped them because it does feel a hell of a lot smoother than it did before, but I am throwing in the towel for body work. So I went ahead, I got the whole car reassembled, got everything up off the ground, the flares, the bumpers, all that stuff back on. I want to get this thing started. I retightened down the oil feed fitting to the turbo to see if that'll help change things, but I just want to see if it's going to keep pissing oil out. I want to see if electronic power steering is working with the car running, because with it off, it's not. If it's not working, it's not a big deal. It's weird because the can only turns on the power steering rack when the car is, but it never knows when it's, I don't know, we'll find out. Okay, so I immediately got to check engine light for something, so let me pull that and see what the fuck is up. What would that even be? The only thing I can think of is something could be unplugged. Engine position? Don't tell me we're back to this bullshit. I think I'm gonna have to put a resistor in on the crank sensor. I'm gonna try bringing the filter level up to 3. Alright, I'm gonna try starting this thing again and see what it does. I changed a few settings in the Haltech, so we should be good now. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I changed it back to what it was. Engine position again. It's always fucking engine position. Everything's always engine position with this car. Engine position, engine position, engine position. Why has it always got to be engine position? Give me an easy problem, like not engine position. That would be fucking awesome. New problem. It is the next day. It is actually the next evening because it's been so hot the past couple days that I came at night. I got the STI figured out as to why it wouldn't start. And this is going to be an interesting problem to try to solve now. The power steering rack creates so much electrical interference that it doesn't let the car run right. It throws off the crank and the cam position sensor. So with the power steering rack disconnected, car runs fine. With it connected, car runs like dog shit, and it just loses engine position. On top of that, you'll see a nice about half a quart of oil spilled on the floor. One of my oil lines exploded from using that cheap knockoff Evil Energy crap. Don't use it. Just use Vibrant. I used to say use it all the time because it's cheaper. Huddle on the Floor disagrees. That's the second time I've had Evil Energy lines fail on me. One of them was a fuel line, pump gas fuel line. The second one has now been this Dash 4 oil line. I don't have enough towels to clean that up. I don't have, I'm gonna have to go get like fucking paper towels from somewhere to soak that. What do I do? What do I do with that? Let me figure out how to clean this up. Okay, I've cleaned up the Gulf oil spill. I had to go to the bathroom and go kidnap shop towels because I ran out cleaning up the Gulf oil spill. I tightened down the fitting. I'm about to just get rid of that fucking oil pressure regulator because that thing causes me so much trouble. And it leaks. That has been the source of all my oil leaks, that oil pressure regulator for some reason. I want to get this thing started back up. I'm gonna let it idle for a minute. Make sure that we have no more oil leaks off the oil pressure regulator. If there's no oil leaks, I'm gonna continue to let it idle. And while it's idling, I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the power wires for the electric steering rack and see if that causes everything to freak out again. I don't know. I think it's just causing a ton of electrical interference. So we'll find out. Blue, I'm begging you, for everything that's good in the world, can you please just fucking cooperate? Alright, so I let it do its learning parameters for a little while since I had the battery disconnected for a couple of days. I'm gonna take it off the lift here in a little bit and go drive it once temperatures come to. It's just been so hot the past couple of days. So in the meantime, while we wait for that, I wanna try to get those rear spats to fit. I don't care to do any sanding or body work. Like I said, I'm gonna let the body shop deal with that. TI, I temporarily fixed its oil leak. I may just get rid of that oil pressure regulator because that thing seems to be causing more problems than it's actually worth. And I already have to rebuild the oil line that's on the car for the return. So I might just get rid of it. I'm gonna do some reading into oil pressure and turbos and whatnot because I know turbos like below 40 PSI. So anyways, rear spats, I have an idea. So I'm thinking like if I just trim down that part of the rear spat and then put some of that rubber lining on it, I don't think it'd look bad. I don't think it would look bad by any means. It's almost like I would have assumed that this would follow the contour of, maybe it's because of that block right there. Hang on, let me rip that off. The little block didn't work. Let me just, I'm gonna figure out a way. I want the damn rear spat. Square it up on here too so I can fucking align this thing. Oh hell yeah I am, I can fucking align it now. That's what's up. That is what's up. That was good. Steering still feels like absolute garbage though. Okay, so this is good. This is exactly where I want the STI. It is perfectly squared up on the 4-post lift, so I can align this thing now. I can use the 4 posts as my square to be able to align it. That's one nice thing, so I can just run string all the way down on both sides. I'm gonna bring over my calipers, tape measure tomorrow to be able to align this thing to get it done. But it's just, I gotta do some reading tonight on this power steering issue. I don't know why. It's gotta be electrical interference from the power steering rack to the ECM that's causing it to freak out, because that's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense, because when I disconnect the rack from the battery and the ground point in the engine bay, it runs fine. And I absolutely have to get this sorted so that way I can drive the car. So I'm gonna swing back to the house tonight. Oh yeah, the rear spats, I couldn't get the rear spats to fit, by the way. They just didn't fit well at all. The GPS does work, which is good, so we have vehicle speed and gear detection back. So the last thing I need to figure out is just this fucking power steering rack issue. So I'm gonna go to the house, go do some research. We'll come back here tomorrow night when it cools down again, because it's like 100 degrees during the day, and inside this box it gets up to like 120, 130 degrees. So it's once again the next day. So I've gone back to the house, I've done a little bit of reading. It's next evening again, because I had to wait for temps to come down, because it was like 115 degrees. And when it's 115 degrees outside, it's like 4 digits. Inside, it's like 1,000. It's not actually like 1,000 degrees, but you get the point. It's hot as shit in here. So I'm gonna go through the bottom. I still want to try to get this out on the road in this video. So I'm gonna go through the suspension real quick on the bottom of the car, make sure everything's tight. I'm gonna do a visual of the engine bay, make sure everything's tight. I'm gonna mess with the power steering again, because I have a theory and I have an idea of how I can get it to work. If I can't get it to work, I'm gonna have to get a CAN emulator, because the steering rack needs things like RPM, vehicle speed, because it's a variable steering rack, if that makes sense. It'll do lighter steering at certain speeds, certain RPMs, heavier steering at other ones. So to emulate that, I may need a CAN emulator to send CAN signals to the steering rack. So I'm gonna try a couple more things, and if they don't work, then I'm gonna have to go down the rabbit hole of figuring out how to do a CAN emulator. Well, this is just dandy. So I got the 10K resistor in. The first one I don't think I had wired in properly, and I think it was like breaking up connection, which is why engine position was freaking out. So I got a second one wired in. As you guys heard, started the car. It sounded a little bit different with that, and on top of that, I busted out the timing light again to check TDC offset after getting that on there, and it looked like it was off about 2 degrees. So I dropped TDC offset from 282 degrees down to 280 degrees, and it seemed like it cleaned things up. Like, I don't know if you guys could audibly hear it in the camera, but it noticeably changed how the car sounded. So that is huge. I've rehooked up the power steering rack, but this time I have the grounded to my negative terminal in the engine bay. So we'll see if this helps fix any of the electrical noise. I really don't want to, I have to pee, I'm sorry. I really don't want to have to go to the route of shielding more wires if I don't have to. So I'm gonna start it, we'll see what happens. I wanted to let it chill out anyways, so you know what? She did good. She did good. I'm sorry I didn't break the camera, you guys. It's just in these stages with the car, I am personally more concerned with making sure that everything's operating and functioning as it should. I got a couple of clips on my phone of a couple little basic flybys just to check fueling, oil pressure, things of that nature. Everything's looking solid, so, dude. It died coming on the lift, but that's all right. I'm gonna let it chill for a minute, and then we'll pull the rest of the way on, and I think I'm gonna jet out of here. Power steering kind of works right now. It does and it doesn't. It does not work when we're stopped or at very low speeds. When we are moving, it does feel good, so I think it's only taking into account wheel speed. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. I think I will need a CAN emulator, but right now it's better than nothing. She threw engine position again. coming onto the rack shifter engine position. I'm gonna email Haltech tonight. I don't know anymore why it keeps throwing engine position. Mechanical timing is spot on. Timing is spot on with the TDC offset is spot on with the timing light. I've got the 10K resistor on the crank sensor. Do I need one on the cam sensor? Like, I don't know anymore. I'm getting frustrated. It drove fantastic. It drove great when I was just out ripping it around a little bit. It got into boost fine. It got into power fine. AFR looked fine. Oil pressure looked great. But I don't know anymore. So I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna email Haltech. I'm gonna see if they have any idea as to why this keeps happening. The oscilloscope looks fine. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I'm gonna be spending the next couple of hours or days going into the trigger system rabbit hole, learning more about trigger systems, seeing if I can make an advanced trigger system, seeing if it's a software issue. It's just this trigger system problem. It's plagued me since we initially got the STI running, and I can't reasonably drive the car on public streets with this problem, because if it continues to happen, and it happens in a situation where I need to get out of the way, I need to move the car quickly, and it puts the car in limp mode and it just completely kills it. It'll shut off and die. Then I have to pull out my laptop, go in there, erase the cell, hopefully, and then hope it doesn't come back again. So I need to figure this out. I know the harness is 100% spot on. I know that top dead center offset spot on. I know mechanical timing is spot on. So I need to go down this rabbit hole and figure it out. If anyone has an idea, I'm totally open to ears on it. Made one more change with the STI. I'm not gonna be setting it to paint right now. I had to spend more money than I was expecting titling and registering this car, because I finally went down and swapped the title into my name and registered it. And also had to register the STI, and we have to pay a plethora of stupid taxes where I'm at when it comes to registering cars that don't even have to do with the vehicles themselves, and it's dumb for where I live. So ended up spending more than I wanted on that, so we're gonna end up wrapping the STI. Ordered the wrap last night. It's about half the cost for me to wrap it than it would be to paint it. We'll paint it in the future. I'm not too stressed about it now, so I'll primer those areas, get them sanded smooth. We'll wrap over them. I actually chose a Nissan color because I think it's gonna be pretty minty, so I'm excited for that. But with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. I'm very happy with the STI right now. When it does work, it works well. We were tickling boost, man. We got up to like 3, 4, 5 PSI on those couple hits I was doing on the back stretch of the shop. So we just need to get past this one trigger issue. Once we get past this one trigger issue, we're home free. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you liked the video, you guys know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver sign, whatever color turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo!